Are you struggling to fit everything into your elementary math block? Do you wish you had more time to meet with your small groups? Math Daily 3 is a structured way to manage your math block, ensuring that your students stay engaged. I'll walk you through how to set up Math Daily 3 in your classroom step by step. Stay until the end because I'm also going to show you exactly how I do this in my own classroom. Hi teacher friend, I'm Molly. Welcome back to my channel, and you know I'm a 5th grade teacher, but I've also taught kindergarten and 1st grade, and I have a little bit of background for you on Math Daily 3 and why I love it so much and how I came to implement it. You've been on this channel, so you know that Daily 5 is my jam. I love talking about literacy. That's my main focus here. But when I switched from 1st grade to 5th grade, I thought that I could do whole group lesson like all the other teachers I knew were doing in the upper grades. They weren't doing small groups. In fact, they kind of like talked about it negatively, like, oh, I can't believe you would pull small groups for that. We do whole group. Don't worry, I'm going to break it all down for you, but this is why I switched to that. So I started 5th grade and it was stressful. Switching such a big grade from 1st to 5th, hands down. I'm glad I did it, but it was a lot. I noticed that there was a few kids in class that would just dominate the lesson, and props to them. They were crazy smart and they knew their stuff about math, but that gave everybody else a license to do absolutely nothing. And I realized that they were shy about their answers. And in 1st grade, almost everybody raises their hand, whether or not they're right. They don't care. They're just excited to be there. And by 5th grade, the decline in raising your hand is astronomical. I mean, you have to create this safe space to get people to raise their hand, and that's all part of your classroom management and building relationships. But when you're starting out the year and you don't know your students as well, it can really be quite the difference between the kids who actually participate in math and the ones who don't. So Math Daily 3 comes from the Daily 5 framework. You can actually find it inside of the Daily 5 book. It's not anything that I've invented. It's just something that I've used and loved over the last few years. And I consistently make little tweaks to it to make it easier inside of my own elementary classroom. And I want to share all those with you today. There's 3 main components to Math Daily 3, and I've tweaked these, but I'm going to start off by telling you what they are according to the book, so you can get the actual fidelity with it and know what they are. Math by myself is just independent math practice with choice. This is exactly like read to self if you're familiar with the Daily 5. Math with someone is similar to read to friend, read to someone. It's just partner activities that reinforce a skill. And then math writing is reflecting on your math through problem solving and journaling. So those are the 3 that they talk about when you actually look at this in the Math Daily 3 section of the Daily 5 book. I want to talk a little bit about how I've tweaked those in my classroom and really had a lot of thought that goes behind this. So what I noticed is if I could group my students into 3 different math groups, I had higher participation in those math groups, I had more engagement, and I had kids understanding tough concepts that they were able to later go apply in math by myself. So that was huge because when we teach a whole group lesson, we're more likely to lose people in the mix. And I wanted to make sure that I was teaching the skills that they actually needed, not just covering one subject and assuming that everybody understands. Now, I do think there is a whole group component that needs to happen. You might teach everything tier 1 and then pull groups after that. That's going to be up for you to decide depending on what it is for the day. I change that up as well, but no matter what, there's always small groups. We also have a math warm-up that we always start with too, and that is a low barrier entry, something that everybody can participate in. The stress is taken away so that we can get our math brains primed and ready to go, and there's not the fear of raising your hand that you're going to be wrong. I love that part of our morning. So after we have done our whole group, then we're going to section off into our small groups. And I love that the kids can go to the choice board. They know what activity they're going to do. We've talked about it, and they know that they're responsible for getting X, Y, and Z done. It's not just goof off time or busy work time, which some people have the misconception of when they don't implement Math Daily 3 the proper way. So I do math by myself consistently. That is by themselves. They just go work on something that relates back to the whole group lesson. After that, my students do usually have an iPad time because the games are related to the lesson for the day. So that's key here. iPad always has to be intentional. It's not just, oh, I'm going to go play games or draw on my iPad. I also use Apple Classroom so I can keep track of what they're doing. And my students know that if they're goofing off, that they're going to get their iPad privileges revoked, and none of them want that, so they always follow through, and I can see their choice, what they're working on. And then for math writing, this is the same every single day. They will have a math journal that they are answering questions in, again, that relate back to the whole group lesson. Nothing during Math Daily 3 is ever arbitrary or doesn't have a purpose. It might be a skill that we taught that we need to go back and look at regardless, but whatever they're working on in math writing, it always gets submitted to me. I give them feedback, and sometimes we might even have a conference to talk about it, just depending on what they need in that time. Some benefits of teaching your math groups this way: it allows for differentiation. You'll see when you start doing it that the groups are all different and you're able to give them exactly what they need because it's a small group setting. It also really fosters student independence. You're showing them how to set up stamina, and you go through it just like you do Daily 5, but there's just 3 stations. And this gives you more time for small groups because your students are working independently and they have the accountability of submitting their work and you checking it later. You're able to pull those small groups without interruptions, and it's the best part of the day because your students know what's expected of them. They look forward to their small group because they don't feel embarrassed in the big group, and they love the autonomy of getting to work on tasks independently. Okay, so how do you set up Math Daily 3 in your own classroom? So we first have to define your small group structure. This is really going to depend on how your school does this. I can't tell you exactly what to do, but you have to decide how many groups you'll meet with daily. It's going to be probably less than 3 because the 3 stations, they just take longer, I've found, than Daily 5 does. So you need to plan the time frame. Sometimes the groups will take 20 to 30 minutes, just depending. So the activities the other kids are working on have to take up that amount of time too, in a constructive way and not just time fillers. Many people will like to group based on ability. Other people are really set on grouping based on skill. You have to decide what works for you and what your particular school wants you to do. But we are seeing a resurgence of the small group and people realizing how key that is for kids to make more growth over time versus everybody just being in a whole group and never getting that individualized attention from their teacher. So the time for your stations, again, that's going to depend on how long your math block is. You can let me know in the comments below. I'd love to actually know how long you have for math. Hopefully it's at least 60 minutes and the concept that's being taught that day. It's really going to depend. So I can't tell you like an exact time for each station. You just have to tweak it and work with it and see what works best per day. Okay, step 2 for setting up Math Daily 3 is organizing math by myself. So just figuring out, I like to plan 1 week ahead so it's not too overwhelming. You know what unit you're in, but the lessons, if it's anything like my math curriculum, the lessons are in a spiral. So one day you might be doing division, the other day you might be doing fractions. So it's not the way it used to be where it was just like, okay, a whole unit on fractions. So I would plan out that week and know individual assignments that the kids are going to do, have them uploaded into the online system. My students take a picture of their work and they send it to me. I get an email from that, and then I can go in and give them feedback on their work and help them fix mistakes. I love doing that, but if I'm not planned ahead, it doesn't work as well. So I would just look at it like 1 week ahead of time. If you're a 2 week or a whole month ahead of time, kudos to you. I think you probably have a really good system in place and you just need to know what activities the kids are going to work on. Of course, differentiated work to meet different needs of students. That's where your teacher expertise comes in and you have to decide what group is going to work on what. Maybe there's different kids in each group that have different needs, but they're like similarly aligned. That's all going to be based on your expertise as the teacher. Now, math with someone, I typically don't do this one very often. If you've seen my Read to Friend video, you understand that. But I do think it can work really well if you have very strict rules with it and guidelines. So they might be playing a fact fluency game. They might have a different task that they're trying to do. Sometimes my students do math with someone as a treat on Fridays for part of the math block if they get their work done. Most of the time, my students, in lieu of this station, are doing a dice game, which helps them with fact fluency. If you're a lower grade teacher, when I taught kindergarten, 1st grade, I used smaller dice, 1 through 6. Once I switched to 5th grade, I had polyhedral dice that had up to 20 different sides. Those are really great for upper grades, and you will see a frame that you can print for them, and then they're practicing their math facts. Some kids even addition they're still working on. So you just have to know your students, and I feel like you really get to know them well by teaching in small group and you know what they need. Other kids might be working on multiplication and division. Of course, the expectations for partner work have to be really strict, like I mentioned before, and explain to them why you're giving them the privilege of that and what you expect out of them, especially if you're pulling small groups at this time. If you're going around after small groups are over and letting kids do this and just checking in and seeing who needs extra help, then it can work really well that way too. Math writing, this is going to be in their math journal. Likely your math curriculum comes with some kind of a journal. I'm hoping it does anyways. And then each lesson every day has a few pages that has their independent practice, problem solving prompts, individual problems that they can work on. And this is what they will take the picture of. And this is very important for them to get done during that time so that if they have extra questions, they can let you know. When they take the picture, they can also give you a comment that says, hey, I need more help with this. If they don't feel confident saying something in the small group, and that's okay. They might not. They have a private way of letting you know, and then you can just come work with them after you're done with your groups and help them figure something out. If you're going to do math games on the iPad, then this is something you have to explicitly teach as well. They need to be engaging games aligned with the day's math lessons. My math curriculum in our district has an app that goes along with it, so it makes it easier for you. You don't have to think about those parts of it. But some other apps that my students have liked are Greg Tang Math. Really love that one. Actually went to his conference one year. And then Prodigy is another one that they really like. And you might have some more in your tool belt too. So let me know in the comments below if there's one your students love and that you've vetted. I think a lot of times the kids will tell you an app that they think they can use and that they like. But if you watch them, it might be a game where they're like feeding a pet or something and then they try to tell you it's math. They're really clever. So you just have to be mindful of that. That's why I love Apple Classroom, so that they can't get away with that. So we have to set clear expectations, of course. There's going to be a level 0. We're going to stay on task. We're going to complete our activities. And we really need to reinforce the skills in our small group lesson, in our individual assigned activities too. So again, we're just always making sure everything comes full circle and that we're doing everything with a purpose. From the day one that you're going to start Math Daily 3, we have to establish those routines and expectations. So we model them and we practice until they get them right. So I like to use a clear anchor chart with the expectations. We go over those every single day. The teacher helper does this. And then we can gradually release responsibility to our students once we've gotten our stamina up to the place where it can be. So with Daily 5, every station you're going to practice stamina. You can do that as well with Math Daily 3. Get them to the 15-minute mark, math by myself, math writing, math iPad, and then you can start pulling groups after that. So to implement this in a smooth manner, I would start with one component at a time. So if it's going to be math by myself, like I said, you start with that. You're going to use the chart on the smartboard to teach them how to rotate as well. We want them moving independently, not that you're calling them back and forth to the carpet every single time. That wastes so much instructional time. And there has to be an element of choice. So letting students have some say in their activities. So math by myself might have 2 options that day. And you tell them you start with the one you want to start with, and then if they have extra time, they can finish the other one. I think it's also important to have some kind of check for understanding. What I do is have my students submit their assignments and they can have comments like I mentioned before, but you might use an exit ticket or have a quick check-in, a clipboard even, that you just check in with 5 kids every single day and just see how they're doing for the week on the concepts that are being taught. Again, I have them set up as assignments so that I get that email. I love that feature, so then I can't forget it. It just pops up and then I can check it on my plan time later. Math Daily 3 helps you create a structured math block that allows you to teach small groups effectively. That's what I love the most about it. And teaching small groups is transformative. Your students will love it. You're going to love it too. You'll like the conversations that you have and the ability to deep dive on things that you might not have had the time for in a whole group lesson, and get to see those light bulb moments happen so much more frequently in small groups than you do in whole group. Let me know in the comments below, do you already use Math Daily 3 or are you trying to use it for the first time? And make sure you check out the description box, because any of the tools I mentioned, I use in my own classroom. I'll link to this video down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.